Hi everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you today how to make a Mickey Mouse Playhouse cake with gum paste gears. Now before we begin, if there's any tools or supplies you may need, if you check the description below you find links that should be able to help you out. Okay, now we're going to start with the gears. I'm using gum paste. I used orange, blue, green, and yellow, but I did the same thing for all of them, so I'm just going to show you a couple of them. This is my first one, and it was not a very good attempt, so, don't quite do what I did here. I made a big fat circle of orange, as you saw, and then I'm using one of my square cutters to cut out wedges just kind of hither and thither all over the place. And then I'm using my knife blade to kind of cut the corners off of the sections that were left to make them come out straight from the center of the circle to look more like a gear. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's not bad, Jen. That looks like a gear. I could see that. Yeah, but we could do better. So I stuck that to the side. So I'm still going to use it, don't get me wrong. And this is attempt number 2, which worked out beautifully, okay? I cut out my circle. I did not cut the center out. And then I started making my square cuts, but I did them across from each other. So that way they were much better spaced. I ended up doing, I think, 6 cuts on each side, and they were just properly spaced with what was left. And when I cut off the edges to make them more gear-like and less flared, it actually looked like a gear, like a proper gear. So go me! We figured this out, right? And once I had it all nice and cut out, then I picked a circle that I thought would make a good size hole in the center. And ba-bam, there you go. So I made a bunch of those in different sizes and just put them aside and let them dry. All right, now I have my cake made. I had it in the fridge. I covered it with blue fondant. I have basics video if you want to see covering a cake in fondant. So you can check out that if you want, but I jumped ahead. So I made a red circle, as you saw. Cut out 2 small circles and cut the bottom off of my circle to make it flat and stick it on the cake, and already, ba-bam, there you go. We've got our clubhouse well begun. And I just always flash back to Mary Poppins with the whole well begun is half done. So yeah, there's that. There you go. Aging myself again. I'm taking black. I cut out a big circle and 2 smaller circles. And I am making the Mickey Mouse head for the top of the clubhouse. So I have my big circle put on there, and then my 2 smaller ones that you saw me cut a little wedge out of so it would kind of snug up against it. And my cake tier is, to the height. I think it's a 6-inch cake tier. I made 3 of them, so it's a little bit taller of a cake. And I made it so that the ears would stick up above the top of the cake. I thought that would look a little better if it came up and out a little. So I'm using a couple more rectangles of black there to the, looking at it to the right side, and then that one standing over on the left side. And that is going to be our parts we're going to add to later. Right now I'm using very thin little slices of black to outline the holes that I made in the red from before. And those are going to be the windows to his clubhouse. He's got the 2 windows, and you make 1 skinny line of black fondant. This is fondant, by the way, guys, except for the black. The black is gum paste because I wanted those ears to dry. So make 1 line of black coming down the windows and then 2 across, and there you go. You got your windows for your Mickey Mouse clubhouse. The blue slide that he has coming out of the clubhouse is just more fondant. Colored it nice royal blue, and I just made a big long rectangle out of it and twisted it around, just S-shape it, stick it on the side so it connects from the house to that other little black there. That's going to be his hot air balloon. That's the mitten shape that he wears. Anyway. Going into the yellow, I'm making the boot part of his clubhouse. The garage, I think it was. So I made my boot shape. I just freehanded it. I give it a little sole on the bottom, a little cuff on the top, just more yellow gum paste. And I had held up that piece right there that I just added on to that black piece coming off the clubhouse so I'd know what size to make it so it wouldn't be too big or too small or weird like that. And yeah, stick it on. I'm just using a little bit of water to connect everything. And like I said before, everything that you're seeing here, except for the black, was fondant. The gum paste part was black so it could dry and the ears would stick up. Okay, now I'm back to white. And I'm going to make the mitten part of his hot air balloon base or stand or whatever it is. So I just used a circle, as you saw, to kind of get a curve for the one side. I am freehanding 3 mitten fingers, just bump, 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 like the udders of a cow, basically. And then I'm going to come out to the side for my fourth. That'll be like the thumb part of the glove. Mickey, unfortunately, does not have 5 fingers. He only has 4. So that I guess he doesn't really suffer for it. So I guess it's not unfortunately. But in cartoon world, he's perfectly normal, right? So there you go. I made a little base for the glove, just like we did for the shoe. Stick it on top, stick the mitten on, and moving on, moving on. All right. At this point, my gears are drying. My Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is pretty much done. I thought the cake looked a little boring, so I was going to make some clouds for the skies. So I made a flat line, do a couple of lumps, you know, and there you go. You got a cloud. And I made them kind of symmetrical with each other, kind of a mirror image of each other. So I figured I'd have some clouds on each side, and yeah, there you go. So whatever shape you want. Guess I was going more like Toy Story style clouds. You know how Toy Story was real flat on the bottom and big on one side and kind of tapered to the other. So there you go. Stick them wherever you can. I did 3 on each side, a big one and then 2 small ones, and it really, I think, helped fill it in, kind of finish off the look of it. And then to really give it a little more color, because I thought it was kind of boring still, I just decided to add a little strip of green around the bottom. It didn't necessarily need it because it was a pretty clean fondanted cake, I gotta say. Go me. It doesn't happen very often. So I don't think it really needed the border, but it needed a little more color. And I thought it looked better and more complete with it. So there you go. Add a little splash of green, just tuck it in, tuck it around. You don't have to do it like I said. I did it. I saw some people had made cakes similar to this and added little bushes or, you know, landscaping that goes around the clubhouse. I didn't do that. I just gave a little strip of lawn. There you go. All right, coming back to my gears. I had taken the gears that I made and stacked them on top of each other. I cut the orange one because I didn't like how it looked on the one end. And I'm attaching lollipop sticks to the back. Using the technique where I take a blob of gum paste, stick it on a lollipop stick, press it on very gently, and I broke it. So right there, I don't know if you can see, in the orange, there's that crack. So to fix it, okay, I'm going to show you how I tried to fix it. I put a bunch of water on the crack. I took a real skinny little piece of orange gum paste, and I'm just kind of rolling and kind of smearing it into the crack itself, kind of like spackling is really the perfect analogy for that. I am spackling the crack that I made. So use a very, very thin little piece of gum paste, lots of water, get it on in there, do the best you can. I am not the best, but it does make a difference, so it will help. And I just did want to show you that. I always, you know, emphasize being careful when you touch those lollipop sticks, and I wasn't, and I suffered for it. I'm throwing this little part in just because it came out kind of cute. I made a number 4. I wrapped the bottom part in some red gum paste. I put a couple little pieces of yellow on and flattened them out just to kind of give it Mickey Mouse and his shorts feel to it, just to finish it off. So I laid the 4 on top, add the gears once they had hardened, and stick it in the top, and there you go. It looks really pretty cool. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe. It helps me. Check out my other videos. And as always, guys, thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.